Aaron Judge extends a couple of streaks, but you know what? The Rays, they had some pretty good weekend in the Bronx. MLB game night, every game, every night, underway.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
The Mariners win streak coming to an end Sunday. The Dodgers win streak coming to an end in an ATL on Sunday. And the Padres with another shutout. With that, we welcome you in to MLB Game Night, every game, every night. He is JD, host of Locked On Cardinals on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm Steve Lennox, host of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. We're going to get into the Cardinals double-header sweep as well against the Mets. But JD, as we have our maiden voyage together, Yankees dropped 2 of 3 to open up the week at home against the Orioles. Now they drop over the weekend 2 out of 3 against the Rays. Aaron Judge did extend a couple of streaks, but the Yankees dropped 4 of 6 against 2 AL East rivals this week.
Yeah, the Yankees, I mean, I'm not really worried about the Yankees at this point. Obviously, the offense and everything is top-notch. You've got Paul Goldschmidt playing out of his mind. We're a little familiar with that in St. Louis. But you have Aaron Judge. He's having an incredible season so far. So I wouldn't freak out yet, but I know how they handle things in New York, and they're probably not sitting well tonight.
Jay Berman, host, Locked On Yankees Postcast. He's got reaction from the Bombers side on Sunday.
All right, may the 4th be with you, because it wasn't with the Yankees. They lose to the Rays 7-5. Tampa takes 2 of 3 from the Bombers in the Bronx. Will Warren got the start today. Didn't go very well. 4 1/3, allowed 5 runs, 3 earned. As for the offense, not much of it. Yanks get a home run from Cody Bellinger, the 200th of his career. An Aaron Judge double, well, extended his hit streak, that to 14 games. His on-base streak to 30. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. As we said, the Yanks had 8 hits, 2 extra base hits, the home run on the double, everything else a single. As for the Rays, Taj Bradley gets the win, Fairbanks the save. And again, the Yankees are now 19-15 overall. They're 11-7 at home after the loss. Again, they lose 2 of 3 to the Rays in the Bronx.
And the Rays did have plenty of base hits in this series finale, JD. 16 hits total. Taylor Walls, 4-hit day. Jonathan Aranda, solo home run in the second, 2-run single with the bases full in the 7th inning. That made it 7-2. The Yankees now host the Padres for a 3-game series. That underway in the Bronx on Monday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, obviously, with San Diego being as good as they've been so far. And you get Tatis and Judge going up against each other. Doesn't get much better than that.
Let's move on. Mariners, JD, and the Rangers wrapping up their series in Arlington on Sunday. Rangers, a 6-run third inning, win the finale, avoid being swept for the second time this year in a 3-game series by Seattle. But the Mariners' win streak does come to an end, ends at 6 in a row. And Jacob deGrom does enough to pick up the victory, his second.
Yeah, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 Ks. He's 2-1 now with the win. And obviously, he's the wild card for that starting rotation in Texas. If he stays healthy, you feel awesome about things. But when he goes down, it could happen at any moment, you just never know. That's what you worry about with deGrom. But when he's on the mound, it makes Texas obviously a much more dangerous team out there in the AL West.
Blue Jays on Friday night took the series opener against the Guardians in Toronto, but the Guardians come back and win the next 2. Guardians are running the 9th inning, go up 5-3, hold on for the 5-4 victory in the series finale on Sunday. Justin Latta from Locked On Guardians. Justin thinks that the Guardians got some help, not only Saturday, but again on Sunday in the finale from Toronto.
Nicer north of the border, and the Cleveland Guardians should be looking to make a change at shortstop real soon. I'm Justin Latta of Locked On Guardians. The Guardians took 2 of 3 in Toronto, mostly because the Toronto bullpen couldn't find the strike zone late in both games Saturday and Sunday. Walks set up a Daniel Schneemann grand slam in the 9th inning on Saturday, and in the 9th inning on Sunday, the Guardians got a bases-loaded walk that helped them win 5-4 and avoid another Manuel Clase blown save. A very lucky weekend for the Guardians, a little perseverance Gabriel Arias had 3 hits on Sunday. He continues to look better as the offensive option at shortstop. Meanwhile, Brian Rocchio came in to pinch hit for John Kenzie Noel late in the game. Couldn't lay a bunt down. Speaks badly to both Rocchio and Noel in that situation. We continue to say on Locked On Guardians, the Guardians have not played their best baseball this year, yet they are one of 3 teams in the AL to achieve 20 wins so far, 2 of which are in the AL Central, by the way. If they can tighten things up, things can go a lot further because they have not played their best yet they are 20-13. Make sure you're tuned in to Locked On Guardians every morning for more of this analysis as the Guardians head to DC this week.
JD, all I could think there is, hey, don't be embarrassed. Don't apologize. Having luck on your side, that's a good thing in baseball.
Absolutely. Sometimes, what's the old saying, right? It's better to be lucky than good sometimes when it comes to sports. But, the Guardians are always that team that nobody really talks about because they're in a division that, is a mainstream division. It's not the East or West Coast. And then you look up and there they are with, 20 plus wins already this season. They just keep chugging along.
And you talk about the Guardians being a team that no one really speaks all that much about from, day to day, week to week during the baseball season. Jose Ramirez is their star and similar, very quiet superstar. Back in the lineup after leaving the opener Friday, 0 for 4 with a walk. Clase back-to-back days did give up an unearned run, but he ends up picking up the save and did leave the potential tying run at third base for the Blue Jays in that final inning.
Yeah, obviously, Clase, one of the better closers in all of baseball, has had a rough start to the season thus far. But when he gets right, you saw it last year, how the end of games were just locked down. When if you go into the 7th and beyond against the Guardians, and if you're not winning, you're in trouble.
And the Guardians are not the only team in that AL Central, JD, that from week to week, you're wondering, are they going to be there in August and September? The Royals are starting to hit. As a collective, they're starting to hit the long ball as well. Royals take the finale, 7 home runs, 11-6 victory against the Orioles at Camden Yards. Yes, the ball can fly out of Camden Yards from time to time. Jack Johnson, Locked On Royals, has the recap as the Royals now can be considered a home run hitting team.
Surprising twist, it was a record-breaking day for the Royals offense as they combined for 7 home runs and an 11-6 win. They not only take the series from the Orioles, they take the season series. And I am the host of Locked On Royals, Jack Johnson, giving you a few thoughts from this game. And the first one would obviously be, if this isn't the game that gets the offense going, I don't know what game it would be. I mean, the power is starting to show a little bit. The bottom of the order is starting to produce. The guys that are supposed to be your run producers, they had a good last 2 games of the series, and now you take a 19-16 record back to Kauffman Stadium for a 7-game homestand against the Chicago White Sox and the Boston Red Sox. It was great to see this lineup, too, pick up a lackluster outing from a starter, and Michael Lorenzen's going to be just fine. Was just an off day against some lefties, leaving too many mistakes in the middle of the zone. But when the offense has a day like that, it doesn't matter if you give up 7 runs, because the Royals were able to win this one comfortably, and now will take the Red Hot Bats back home to take on the last place team in their division.
JD, the Royals had a Major League worst 15 home runs for their first 33 games. That was through Friday in the series opener in Baltimore. 3 solo shots on Saturday. The franchise record, as Jack just mentioned there, on Sunday in the 11-6 victory. And I think this is just simply a sign of good things to come for Bobby Witt Jr. as he gets more help in that lineup.
Yeah, and it's a reminder, too, that it is a very long season. And I'm sure there were fans in Kansas City that were freaking out like, what is happening? Why can't we get it over the wall? And all of a sudden, boom, new month, new team almost is what it feels like, where they're popping home runs. The Orioles had a big day with the home runs, too, with Jackson Holiday hitting a couple as well. So the ball was flying out nicely at Camden. Very entertaining game. But, yeah, that Royals team, that's a solid one. And if Bobby Witt Jr. starts to get that power stroke going, I mean, already one of the best hitters in baseball. He's just a lot of fun to watch.
All right, let's get into your Cardinals. They take not 1, but 2, and both one-run victories. 2 one-run victories against the Mets on Sunday. I know we're going to talk about Michael McGreevy because he was outstanding and saved the rest of the bullpen in game 2. But your thoughts coming away from the doubleheader sweep for the Cardinals at Busch Stadium on Sunday?
Honestly, it's shocking because the Cardinals on the road are one of the worst road teams in the league. They only got 4 wins so far, but you get them home at Busch Stadium, and they just play like a totally different team. It's bizarre that the splits are so different, and it's not like there's like this home cooking where there's a big crowd at Busch Stadium right now, which is very odd for people over the years. They've come used to 35,000 people showing up at Busch on like a Tuesday. It's not that way right now because fans have decided to spend their money elsewhere at the moment. They're a little upset, but this team battles. This team battles at home more than they do on the road. Game one, Wilson Contreras is starting to warm up. 3 for 4, hit a home run, had 3 RBIs in that game. Brendan Donovan just very quietly is second in batting average in the National League behind Pete Alonso with 339. He was 2 for 4 with 2 ribbies. And there was a big moment in that game, in that first game. Jojo Romero, the bullpen for the Cardinals has been the real problem so far. It hasn't been the offense, hasn't been the starting rotation. It's been their bullpen. And they just haven't been able to trust everybody. They just, every time they think they can trust a guy, that guy goes down. And Romero has struggled early on, but he comes in the 8th inning in a really tight spot with the Mets big boppers coming up, able to wiggle out of a spot that normally we were ready for that lead to get blown. Like it was 6-5 at the time, and Pete Alonso's coming up, and you're expecting the worst. Gets out of it. A huge momentum boost, hopefully, for Romero and that bullpen altogether.
And in game 2, I mentioned Michael McGreevy, 5 2/3 innings, no runs, just 1 hit allowed. That was to Mark Vientos. How about the play by Nolan Arenado? Yes, he scared a young little girl. He made the play on a pop-up in foul territory, turned his back towards the screen. I want to say E on the dad, I think, because there was no protecting of the ladies in his family. Am I right or wrong there?
You're right. It's Nato being Nato, and we've become so used to seeing him just make these plays like it's no big deal because he's so smooth and so good over at third base. Yes, the offense hasn't been where you want it the last couple seasons, but that dude has not missed anything when it comes to the defensive side of things. He is platinum glove playing right now, and that play going into the stands and making the play, gave the ball to the kid because that's what good guys do. The defense was huge for the Cardinals in this game. Victor Scott in center field robs a 3-run jack from Juan Soto, goes over the wall and pulls it back. The defense was on point, and then you got McGreevy, the 27th man for this doubleheader, was a guy that sadly didn't make the roster just because oddly, the Cardinals have a healthy rotation. That doesn't normally happen. Somebody goes down normally, and it hasn't happened yet. And so McGreevy had to go back to AAA. They bring him up as his 27th man. You get a kind of an ugly start from Palante, and then McGreevy shines 5 2/3, 1 hit, 5 Ks. Just huge for the Cardinals. Just team morale to come away with a victory. They snapped the 9-game losing streak to the Mets with that winning game 1, and then they end up winning the series just like that. It was a lot of fun to watch.
The Dodgers had their win streak come to an end Sunday Night Baseball against the Braves in Atlanta. We'll have the details from our Locked On experts as we continue MLB Game Night, every game, every night. And we are presented by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, hey, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building on your wealth. When you start using Monarch Money, you're going to soon realize just how much money you might be spending on food delivery. With that, you're going to budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch Money to check your finances, track spending, and even plan your long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track your both your shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off on your first year. Again, that's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB, and you're going to save half off on your first year. All right, JD, we saved Dodgers Braves for the start of segment number 2. Braves come away with a victory in the series finale. With that, the Dodgers' 7-game win streak comes to an end. You just think the Dodgers are going to come back late in the game. We're going to touch on this one, but we're also going to hear from our Locked On experts as well, and we'll get the winning side of things as we say hello to Jake Mastriani. He's got the Braves for us.
Braves finally find a way to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they had to sweat it out to the very end. Jake Mastriani here from Locked On Braves. And yes, the Braves do avoid getting swept by the Dodgers again. A big win at home on Sunday night. A baseball 4-3 over the Dodgers. Bryce Elder with a good start in this one. Austin Riley with 2 home runs. The offense didn't do enough early on to really put this game away, and that Dodgers offense, it's hard to get 27 outs against them, and it took every bit that the Atlanta Braves had, but they hold on in the end. The bullpen does a great job. Pierce Johnson, Dylan Lee, Daysbel Hernandez, Raisel Iglesias, the top 4 in the bullpen. They come in, shut things down, and get the Braves a win, a much-needed win against the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'll talk about more of this over on the postcast and Monday's episode of Locked On Braves.
And JD, with that, I've talked to Lindsay about it on occasion. The Braves got off to such a miserable start to the season. Yeah. They still have people coming back, including Ronald Acuna, maybe in the next 4 to 6 weeks. But, it's when you dig a hole like that, it's so hard just to get back to the 500 mark, which you're still trying to attain.
Yeah, it's not easy. You never want to get down so bad where it's like you're uphill for the entire half of the season. Now, obviously, we'll say this again. It's a long season. There's a lot of time to go, but nobody ever wants to get behind. And especially in a division where you've got somebody as good as the Mets that you're competing with in the AL East. And they continue to, until they ran into the red hot Cardinals, they were rolling right along. So, Atlanta's going to be there in the end. I have no doubts about that, especially when they get some of these injured guys back in their lineup.
It's not often the Dodgers have a losing side of things on Locked On, but Jeff, Locked On Dodgers, tries to make the most of what was a loss for the Dodgers on Sunday night.
Dustin May hung 2 sliders to Austin Riley. That's all the Braves needed in this one. What's up? This is Jeff Snyder from Locked On Dodgers. Dodgers lose to the Braves 4-3. 2 2-run homers by Austin Riley on bad pitches from Dustin May. Ended up being all the Braves would score. They were done scoring after about the 3rd inning. But unfortunately, the Dodgers, they clawed back, got within 1 run, but then their rally in the 9th inning fell short. They had Hae-Sung Kim on 3rd base with just 1 out in the 9th, but Miguel Rojas and Austin Barnes both struck out to end the game. Dodgers can't finish off the season sweep of the Braves. They finished the season 5-1 against the Braves. Their lead in the National League West is now down to half a game over the Padres, who just finished sweeping the Pirates. Dodgers now head to Miami. Padres head to New York to face the Yankees, so should be a chance for the Dodgers to hopefully extend that lead over the next few days. Sure, check out Locked On Dodgers every weekday morning on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts. We'll talk all about this one and the whole series win against the Braves.
And with that, again, the Dodgers, they dropped the final game. But again, the win streak wasn't against the best talent in baseball. Pirates, Marlins in there, 2 from the Braves who still aren't at 500 as we touched on. But man, this lineup game in, game out, it's fun to watch. But when they're held in check, a 1-run loss, they'll get right back in the winning column, I'm sure, during the upcoming week.
Yeah. Do you think Jeff ever sweats during a game? Like, do you think he's ever nervous watching the Dodgers? Because you've seen it just like I have over and over and over. When you think they're out, they come back anyway. Although they don't have Tommy Edman right now, which might have thrown them off their game a little bit.
Padres Pirates wrapped up their series in Pittsburgh at PNC on Sunday. And, the Padres with another shutout. Major League best 8th on the season. Pirates 1-5 on their just completed 6-game homestand. Now they go out on the road, but more pitching. Stephen Kolek, first major league start against a big league lineup. And yes, the Pirates have a big league lineup. 5 2/3 scoreless. The bullpen, we've heard this before for the Padres, just took care of business the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, they've got they're pushing, Mike Schultz pushing all the right buttons. And, when you've got pitching like that, and the old saying is pitching will beat good hitting almost every single time, right? And the way that the Padres staff is throwing the ball right now, like it's not shocking to see them keeping pace with the Dodgers in the NL West right now. It's been really, really impressive.
They've gotten close in recent years. Do you think they finally have the right fit overall with their big league club here in 2025?
As of right now, here in May, it feels like they're right there, and I'm sure they might get a little aggressive at the trade deadline and see what else they can add to try to keep up with Big Brother in LA. But again, you got to stay healthy this whole way, and if you lose a couple of these guys to a couple of injuries, anything can happen. So you stay healthy, though. The Padres are going to be right there.
You know, you mentioned Jeff. We mentioned Padres are now to New York to play the Yankees in the Bronx. That series underway on Monday. Jeff alluded to it as well. They open up a 3-game series. They've got Nick Pivetta on the mound. He's going to be looking for a 6th win of the season in the series opener on Monday. But it sort of piqued my ears a little bit that Jeff knows what the Padres are going to be doing here. And I'm sure he knows what the Giants are going to be doing here for the upcoming week as well. The Dodgers are scoreboard watching.
Yeah, they're paying attention, man. I mean, yeah, maybe he is feeling a little nervous, looking behind himself a little bit in that rearview mirror, going, okay, maybe we ought to get our act together. Come on, Dodgers.
All right, so all night long and into Sunday, JD, I was kicking myself because on Saturday, Lindsay and I opened up with the A's and Marlins, and the Marlins walked off in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's something they do at home in Miami. They walked off 10 times this year. Stowers had the grand slam. I wanted Jeremiah and Booney. I was a horrible producer on Saturday. Okay, me, we're over that. But the A's come back, a nice rebound win on Sunday, and they take 2 out of 3 in the series, and they do keep finding ways to win. They're now 3 over 500 once again. We'll hear from Booney in just a moment. But what do you right now, as you said with the Padres, we're in early May, what are you making of the Athletics?
Scrappy. Yeah. A lot of young guys that have something to prove, and I'm kind of rooting for it because I want to see a playoff game in a minor league park. I think that would be hilarious. But that is something that could actually take place. I've always respected the A's teams for being able to, even though everybody counts them out and they feel like ownership doesn't care, but yet they still go out there and they're competitive teams more times than not. And Booney will get very upset at you if you ever say that they're one of the worst teams, because he's like, no, go look at the winning percentage. He'll get all worked up at you because they actually, they're there competing more times than not. And it's a scrappy team that you don't want to mess with. And they've got that ballpark where, offense is going to be a real key for them. You say scrappy, and I agree. But also, they're still young. And with that, they're learning how to be professionals at the big league level. And Bleday and Rooker, those guys are kind of veterans right now for guys like Kurtz coming up from the minors who, he's debuting in the big leagues. And hey, I've done these ballparks before without that third deck of seats. I'm still in a minor league ballpark, but they're giving you professional effort. They did it last year a lot of the times, but they're doing it here in 2025, and they're doing it consistently. Yeah, and they're keeping pace with the Mariners. Yeah. They're 2 games back right now. I mean, you just can't count out the A's right now. There's just something about them that they won't go away. They just don't. And more power to them, man. I appreciate the effort. We mentioned Booney, near and dear to all of our hearts at Locked On. Let's hear from Booney on Sunday's victory in the finale.
The A's rolled into Miami and left with a series win thanks to a gritty 3-2 victory capped off by a clutch 9th inning rally. This is Booney from Locked On A's, and JP Sears was nails on the mound today, spinning 6 1/3 strong innings and giving up just 2 runs on 4 scattered hits. The Marlins never got comfortable against the lefty, who mixed speeds, painted corners, and kept the fish flailing all afternoon. The A's bullpen slammed the door late, setting the stage for some 9th inning heroics. With the game tied in the final frame, rookie slugger Nick Kurtz stepped up and smoked a triple into the left field corner, sending up Tyler Soderstrom to pinch hit, and the kid delivered. Soderstrom laced a line drive single through to center field, plating Kurtz with what turned out to be the game-winning run. There was no walk-off today, thank God. Just like that, the A's took the series in Miami and ended up 5-2 on this road trip. First place, Seattle Mariners come to Sacramento starting tomorrow. Huge series.
Huge series in early May. And by the way, Booney mentioned that 9th inning. Tyler Ferguson, with Mason Miller not available, retired the side 1-2-3 for the save. And you know what? That's what you need. Another guy picking up somebody else on the team. Miller didn't have it on Saturday, unavailable on Sunday. Hey, I'll get the job in the 9th. Get the job done in the 9th. Yeah, when you're an all-star closer, like who feels like Superman most nights when he goes out there with the stuff that he possesses, and he has a bad night, a lot of teams might shrink. They might deflate after like, oh my gosh, what do we do now? This guy can get beat, and never mind. They just step right up and next guy up, and that's how you do it, Major League Baseball, because there's always a game tomorrow. All right, Twins take care of business against the Red Sox at Fenway on Sunday. With that, they win the finale 5-4 in comeback fashion. They got 2 runs in the 7th inning against Garrett Whitlock to tie the game. They got 2 runs in the 8th inning against Justin Slayton to break the 3-3 tie. All 4 of those runs against the Red Sox relievers coming with 2 outs in an inning. And as we welcome in our guy who covers the Twins, Brandon, got a little bone to pick because there's definitely something that he's going to say here that nobody in Red Sox Nation is going to agree with.
Byron Buxton started things off with a boom, but the Twins needed late offense off a pretty good Red Sox bullpen to get it done and steal the game 5-4 and the series 2-1 at Fenway. I'm Brandon Warren with your Locked On Twins post-game minute. Buxton homered off Crochet in the first inning, but that was the only offense they could get off him, chasing him through 5 innings on 89 pitches. Harrison Bader, though, was at the forefront of all of the action, playing superb defense in right field at Fenway. Certainly not easy to do, and also reaching twice safely on Sunday, including a double late that scored Carlos Correa to give the Twins a 4-3 lead in the 8th. He's up to 130 weighted runs created plus. Whew. Fun fact, the Twins have an MLB high 21 two-strike hits in May. That's 4 games. In their last 10 games of April, they only had 22. Up next, Twins are off Monday before Tuesday's Pablo Day against the Orioles and Cade Povich. Nice trade, Falvey. First pitch, 6:40 p.m. We'll have full coverage of it for you. This is Locked On Twins.
Some numbers there, JD, that I've never heard, and we're going to break here in just a moment. I've never heard on MLB Game Night, but, he was right there. Brandon was right there. The Red Sox bullpen, Red Sox manager Alex Cora said it after Sunday's game, not a good week. They blew leads in Toronto. They blew leads in the series. They dropped 2 out of 3, and they are brutal. 9th 1-run loss of the season for the Red Sox on Sunday. Let's move on. Phillies, Diamondbacks, a wild one. D-backs up 7-1, 3 in the 10th inning. Hold on for the 10-9 victory against the Phillies. The Phillies got 2 in the 9th inning, 1 in the 10th, but they do fall short. They do win that series 2-1. Geraldo Perdomo, 4 hits, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Corbin Carroll, a couple of hits, 3 runs knocked in as well for the Diamondbacks as they take the finale in Philadelphia. Well, the Tigers certainly broke out the bats in Anaheim against the Angels in the series finale on Sunday. We've got details next with segment number 3 of MLB Game Night.
Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. And with Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more, experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries. We're talking about IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple, and it makes it affordable too. And if you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork, they can connect you with a freelance expert who delivers incredible results. Posting a job, it's free, it's simple, and within a day, you'll have multiple qualified candidates to choose from. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale your business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork.com, UPWORK.com, Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today.
All right, JD, segment number 3. Tigers lose the opener against the Angels in Anaheim, come back, win the next 3, win the finale on Sunday 13-1, 8-3 in their last 11. We've touched on the Royals in the Central. We've touched on the Twins in the Central. The Tigers are right there as well. So are the Guardians. We touched on them. But, we'll hear from Scott in just a moment. They simply took care of business, and that's Scott's theme as well.
Well, that is certainly one way to bounce back from a frustrating loss on Saturday. I'm Scott Bentley, host of Locked On Tigers. A 13-1 victory for your Detroit Tigers over the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in Anaheim. One of the most dominant performances you'll see. Pitching was fantastic. Offense was lighting up the relievers, lighting up the starter. Didn't matter who was on the mound. Everybody was clicking. After a really frustrating offensive performance where they couldn't get anything going against Kyle Hendricks in 2025 on Saturday, they then turn around and take all their anger out. They take the series 3 of 4 in Anaheim is always a great thing as well. And the Tigers have one of the best run differentials in baseball, the best record in the American League, and continue to roll. And now they have an off day on Monday, and they're going to Colorado, who is off to one of the worst starts in MLB history, for a 3-game set in the middle of the week. They have a chance to continue to pile up wins. Matt Vierling rehab assignment started. Manuel Margot rehab assignment. Bo Brisky back from injury this weekend. The reinforcements are coming, and the Tigers just scored like 34 runs just in this series against LA this weekend. Really exciting times. Hopefully they keep the ball rolling here. We'll talk about that and more tomorrow on Locked On Tigers.
All right, JD, the Red Sox have what I call a scheduled day off on Monday. The Tigers have a deserved day off on Monday after taking 3 of 4 in that series. Let's go a little rapid fire. We'll give you Giants-Rockies as the Giants were able to wrap up their series Sunday with a win against Colorado.
Yeah, Giants were victorious 9-3. They lost that opener on Thursday. They end up winning the next 3. Willie Adames, 2 home runs, 8th career multi-homer game, knocked in 3 ones. He's starting to heat up at the plate after a bit of a cold start for him. Logan Webb, obviously one of the top right-handers in baseball, picked up his 4th win. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Rockies, what can you say, man? It's been a tough go for them. They're 6-28 on the season. I don't know when it's ever going to turn around for Colorado, but it didn't happen today.
White Sox do win their second series of the season. Rain-shortened 7-inning victory, 5-4 against the Astros on Sunday, and they got 2 in the 6th inning. I'm sure the rain was in the forecast. They had a sense of urgency, got the 2 runs in the 6th inning. Game delayed for well over an hour before it was called again. White Sox second series win of the season, first against the Astros since 2021.
Yeah, I mean, the White Sox, I know they're not considered a good team, but another team that, like, you kind of feel bad. You want to root for them a little bit because things have been so tough for them over the last couple of seasons. So to see them, keeping up with Houston and getting a W, I mean, more power to them, right?
Sunday in Cincinnati, Nationals 3 in the 7th inning take the finale against the Reds 4-1. Luis Garcia home run to break a 1-1 tie. C.J. Abrams 2-run double to make it 4-1. Mackenzie Gore now leads the majors, 68 strikeouts in 46 innings. He struck out 9 over 5, took a no decision. JD, wrap up with the Cubs and Brewers, and hey, the Brewers got a victory on Sunday.
Yeah, a little NL Central battle. The Cubs have been red hot, obviously, and the Brewers able to avoid being swept at home. They win this finale by a score of 4-0. This shutout win of the season for the Brewers pitching staff. Milwaukee got all 4 of their runs in that 6th inning. Freddie Peralta, Chuck from Locked On Brewers will tell you he believes he's an all-star this year, and he just very may well be if you saw this one. 6 scoreless combined with 3 relievers on the shutout. Peralta allowed just 4 singles, no runs, 1 walk. 7 strikeouts. The Cubs haven't played well on Sundays, but for the rest of the week, they're usually pretty good.
And that is a wrap for us. Make sure to tell your friends all about us as we continue to build MLB Game Night, every game, every night, part of a Locked On Sports Network as well. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Again, MLB Game Night, every game, every night, part of Locked On Sports.